So I'm the Chief Product Officer for Zen Banks, and really have responsibility for our customers. So anything that touches our customers, I have oversight of. So, and the whole goal of that is to make sure that we are building a product that meets our customer needs across the board. So, you know, not just the experience, not just the UI, but the pricing, you know, how we service those customers, and into, you know, where do we acquire those customers from. I mean, I think the great thing about digital marketing and that is it's evolved to be the epicenter of what marketing is, and not to the detriment of anything else. I mean, obviously you still need, you know, your brand strategy and your PR and that, but I really see digital is driving everything, and is really becoming a key element within organizations, and if it isn't, I think it needs to. So, and again, that's not just from a acquisition point of view, but, you know, activation, reactivation, servicing, everything is getting driven digitally these days. So I just think it's an exciting time to be in that space. I think it is understanding, you know, how should I be communicating through these different mediums? And, you know, it can't just be okay, well, I'll, you know, because it works in a Facebook or a social media site, it'll work in my messaging apps. It can. I mean, it has to have a common theme, and you have to be representing your brand properly. But, you know, how consumers are expecting to experience a brand or content within those within the different mediums is a challenge, and I think it's really, you know, a lot of work to kind of understand and deep dive to know this is exactly what I want to get out of this channel and how I'm going to interact with our customers. I think on top of that, you know, there is a lot of noise in the financial service space right now. I mean, there's a lot of fintechs coming up. I mean, banks are broadening their service offerings, so there is a lot of noise to fight through. So, you know, to really be top of mind for customers is becoming even more difficult. And it's not just a problem of, well, I'll throw more money at it and get more exposure. You have to be really smart with, you know, where you're engaging and how you're engaging with your customers, because they are a lot more savvy than they used to be. I think the critical thing is what are you trying to get out of it? What's your objective? You know, is it simply just awareness? Is it trying to drive a specific behavior of existing customers? Is it education? I think that too many campaigns get started with probably too broad of an objective. I mean, I wouldn't say that it gets started without an objective, but too broad of an objective, and not really understanding, you know, this is the final point that I want the customer to get to from this interaction. So I think you really have to know what is it that we're striving for, what's our expectations, and then, you know, measure against that. So, because if you didn't have an assumption or a stated goal to begin with, then it actually doesn't matter what the outcome is. You don't know if you did what you needed it to do. So I think that's the key, is just being really specific with what's your objective. I think from a tool perspective, I'm going to go a little bit away from the technology, and I would say go and talk to your customer service people and get the insights from them. I mean, they are dealing with your customers on a regular basis, and they're dealing with the issues most specifically. So the insights around what issues are coming up that you can get from that live human interaction is so much more valuable, I think, than any other, you know, technology that's out there. And I think that's so often overlooked, this hidden gem of data that exists inside of companies. So absolutely, that's a place that I would go. And then I think, you know, anything that's helping on the analytics side and really kind of penetrating down to, you know, who are our best customers and what are their behaviors, and going after them. And I don't think you need to be afraid of, you know, well, that seems like it's a very small group. I think that's a good thing, because then you can get out there and you can target them. So certainly, you know, the learning side of things and some of the technology that's coming up on the AI and the machine learning area is critical, and absolutely needs to play a role on the digital side of things. So I think the struggle that I see is just tying it all back together, and what is it, that we're trying to get to, and are we effectively measuring what we're getting? And so I think what that speaks to, and certainly something I'm going to touch on later, is from an organizational point of view. Companies need to be oriented around your digital experiences. So, there's obviously a lot of software and IT that needs to be involved in the digital space now, and a separation of IT and marketing those walls really need to come down. And I think there's been, from what I've seen, some good traction in that area. I think it needs to, come down even further. So, I think in the same way that you're building up an IT organization around an infrastructure or product or whatever the case may be, there needs to be a vast amount of resources dedicated to the digital experience team and digital ads, so that they have the right tools and resources to get the job done properly.